So what I'm going to show you now are some links that from French to English. These are useful to know because sometimes when you're looking at new words that you haven't come across, for example, the word épice, which means a spice in English, you can sometimes guess the English word from knowing certain rules about how French is transposed to English. So I'll give you some examples of these. So I've given you épice is spice, école is school, écrire it obviously is to write, but it links to the English word scribe or script. Étable is a stable. Étudier is to study. Now, one of the things you'll see in French is a little bit less prevalent these days because they've started to remove some of these circumflexes, these little hats that you have on top of letters. But you always used to have these, and it was a very good way of identifying where an S had been removed in a word. Often that was what it meant. So you have like hôpital in English is hospital. Forêt in English is forest. Bête in English is beast. Uh, Pâte in English is paste. Côte in English is coast. Chateau in English is castle. You have an interesting case with the word hôtel, which has a circumflex on it in French. Obviously, you have an English word hotel, but you also have an English word hostel, which would link in with that rule that I'm mentioning to you there. One of the other things you'll see between English and French is the word, the letters GU sometimes correspond to W in English. The word Guillaume, which is a name, obviously, in English is William. There's a famous example of this of Guillaume le Conquérant is William the Conqueror. You see the word yep, which becomes wasp. Now, this is interesting because it's got the circumflex as well, so that you can see the missing S there after there's a slight change of the vowels, but there's a missing S. And guerre in English is war. Um, this is another thing to recognize in French. When you've got air at the end of the word, quite often in professions, in English it will go to airy. So secrétaire is secretary, militaire is military, sanitaire is sanitary, légendaire is legendary, ordinaire is ordinary, and commentaire is commentary. There's lots more like that. Missionnaire is missionary. Um, there's a whole host of those ones. So I thought this was a little useful little way of seeing some links between the two languages. So if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.